I never imagined that walking through an airport with my sick 2-year-old strapped to my chest would turn into a public nightmare. His tiny body rested against me in the carrier, a portable ventilator humming softly to keep his lungs working, when a complete stranger suddenly started shouting that my child's life support machine was fake and against airline rules. The woman, an entitled, HOA type everyone would later call Karen, didn't stop there. She demanded security, blocked our path at the gate, and made such a scene that TSA had to intervene. What happened next left her humiliated, while we barely made our flight for my son's emergency surgery. But the real shock, the reason she completely lost control, wasn't what anyone expected. I'll never forget that day at Denver International Airport. My son, Ethan, had just turned 2. He was born with a rare lung condition that required a portable ventilator 24 hours a day. We were racing to catch a connecting flight to Children's Hospital in Philadelphia for a procedure doctors hoped would finally let him breathe without the machine. My husband struggled behind me with 2 carry-ons while I carried Ethan in the chest carrier, the ventilator backpack secured snugly against my back. Its steady, rhythmic beep-beep was the only thing keeping me calm in the chaos of holiday travel. We'd already cleared regular security without issue. TSA agents were familiar with medical devices. They'd scanned the ventilator, tested it, documented everything, and even let Ethan keep his stuffed dinosaur. We had maybe 20 minutes to get from Concourse C to Concourse A, a train ride away. I was speed walking, sweating, silently begging we wouldn't miss the connection. That's when she appeared. A woman in her mid-50s, perfectly highlighted hair, designer athleisure, oversized sunglasses worn indoors, barreled toward us near gate A34 while loudly complaining into her phone about her delayed flight. Then she noticed us. Her eyes locked onto the ventilator tubing running from the backpack to the small mask covering Ethan's nose and mouth. She stopped dead in her tracks. "Is that thing even real?" she shouted, loud enough to turn half the gate area toward us. "You can't bring fake medical equipment on a plane. That's fraud." My heart dropped. Ethan stirred against me, the ventilator letting out a brief warning beep as my own breathing tensed. I tried to keep moving, murmuring, "Excuse me," and attempting to step around her, but she deliberately moved to block my path. "No, no, no," she snapped. "I know the rules. My brother-in-law works for the airlines. You're scamming priority boarding with a fake machine. That baby doesn't even look sick." And that was the cruelest part. Ethan did look healthy, chubby cheeks, bright blue eyes, soft curls. People always assumed he was fine until the moment he wasn't. Heat flooded my face. "Ma'am, please move," I said. "This is a prescribed medical device. We've already cleared security." She scoffed and raised her voice even louder. "Security lets anything through these days. I want a supervisor. Someone call TSA right now." Passengers began filming. My husband stepped in, calmly explaining that the ventilator had full documentation, but she cut him off instantly. "Don't you dare gaslight me. I sit on my neighborhood HOA board. I know when people are breaking rules." Of course she did. It all clicked in that moment. She planted herself like a human barricade, arms crossed, shouting about special treatment and fake disabilities, claiming we were delaying the flight and endangering passengers with unapproved electronics. The gate agent looked panicked, unsure whether to board or call for help. Ethan started fussing. The stress made his oxygen levels dip, and the ventilator screen flashed a warning. I whispered to him that it was okay, fighting tears, while this woman continued ranting about fairness and fraud. Then she crossed the line. She reached out, actually reached toward the mask on Ethan's face, and said, "Let me see if this thing is even turned on." I jerked back so fast I nearly stumbled. My husband stepped between us, his voice shaking with fury. "Do not touch my son." That's when TSA arrived. 2 officers who'd heard the commotion. One of them immediately recognized us as the agent who'd screened us earlier. "Ma'am, step back," he said firmly. "I personally cleared this family and their FDA-approved portable ventilator. Everything is documented." She still wouldn't stop. She demanded badge numbers, accused us of tricking him, insisted the machine was just a prop for sympathy. A supervisor arrived, reviewed the paperwork in seconds, then turned to Karen with a calm, professional tone. "Ma'am, this family has full medical clearance. You are interfering with a passenger with a disability. If you continue, airport police will be involved." Her face shifted from red to purple. She sputtered about knowing her rights, then stormed off toward the customer service desk, shouting that she was going to miss her connection because of us. And she did, because of the delay she caused. The gate agent announced that one passenger, her, had been rebooked on the next flight for hours later. The rest of us boarded on time. As we walked down the jet bridge, I overheard the TSA supervisor quietly tell the gate agent she's been flagged before for disruptive behavior. This isn't her first complaint. I buckled Ethan into his car seat on the plane, kissed his forehead, and finally let the tears fall, relief, anger, exhaustion all at once. But the story didn't end there. What none of us knew yet, what would surface weeks later, was why she fixated on us with such vicious intensity. And when the truth came out, it changed. Caught. Later, we discovered that her so-called cousin actually had a CPAP for sleep apnea. Completely different. The captain's voice came over the intercom, calm but firm. "Folks, we have a situation. One passenger is making repeated, unfounded claims about another passenger's medical equipment. Everything has been verified. Please remain seated and refrain from approaching other passengers. We will handle this on the ground." Karen screamed at the ceiling. "You're all in on it. You're protecting her." Then she did something that made my blood run cold. She started marching up the aisle toward us. The purser stepped in immediately, and two male flight attendants materialized beside her. She tried to shove past, flailing her arms. "Assault? False imprisonment," she shouted. The plane hit light turbulence. Everyone swayed. Ethan woke up crying, ventilator alarm beeping, because his mask had slipped just slightly. I fixed it with trembling hands, tears stinging my eyes. Karen pointed at him. "See? He's crying because that thing is hurting him. You're abusing that baby." A man in business class stood. "Lady, sit down before you get us all diverted." She spun on him. "Mind your own business. I'm protecting everyone here." The captain came on again. "Ma'am in row 32, return to your seat immediately or we will divert to the nearest airport and you will be removed by law enforcement." 10 seconds of tense silence passed. She finally sat, but turned to the woman next to her, hissing loud enough for half the plane to hear. "When we land, I'm pressing charges. That family is going to jail." The rest of the flight was sheer torment. Karen leaned out each time a flight attendant passed, muttering about lawsuits, HOA rules, and precedent cases, scrolling her phone endlessly. I held Ethan the entire flight, whispering, "Almost there, buddy. Doctors will take care of you soon." My husband kept texting our surgeon, updating them about the delay. Finally, the plane touched down in Philadelphia. The purser made an announcement. "Due to a security concern, please remain seated until law enforcement speaks with one individual." Karen's face drained. 2 airport police officers boarded immediately and walked her a row. "Ma'am, you need to come with us." She held her chin high. "Arrest them first. They're the ones with the fake machine." An officer shook his head. "We reviewed TSA reports and onboard footage. You are being detained for disruptive behavior and making false reports." She began sobbing dramatically, shouting, "I was just trying to help. I have rights." They escorted her away. As she passed our row, mascara running, she glared at me. "This isn't over. You'll hear from my lawyer." The second the door closed, the entire plane erupted in applause, a full standing ovation. People leaned over seats to high-five us. The teenage girl gave Ethan her stuffed unicorn. An older man handed me a $50 Starbucks gift card for our little warrior. Tears came again, but these were happy ones. Even as we collected our things to the board, I had no idea the real shock was still ahead. Karen's lawyer never called. 3 days later, once Ethan was stable after surgery, a news alert appeared on my phone. A viral video of the gate incident had been posted. Comments tagged Karen's real name. That's when the truth came out, why she lost it that day. It wasn't about rules or safety. It was personal, humiliating and terrifying for her pride. Ethan was stable, recovering from surgery, when my phone blew up with notifications. The gate video, titled HOA Karen Accuses Sick Toddler of Faking Disability, already had 3 million views. Comments poured in, mostly condemning her. Then a screenshot stopped me cold. A Facebook post from 6 months earlier. Perfect highlights, smug smile, posing next to a luxury stroller at a baby shower. Caption: so excited for my first grandbaby arriving in December. Already spoiled rotten heart. December. That meant her baby was due any day. Scrolling further, someone linked her HOA group. There she was, Karen Mitchell, board president, posting rants about rule breakers and fake service dogs. Classic. Then a buried comment from her daughter. Mom, stop. Not everyone is faking it like you think. Another commenter, a neighbor, revealed the bombshell. Karen's daughter had given birth 2 weeks early to a boy with the exact same rare lung condition as Ethan. He needed a ventilator from day one. Karen refused to believe it. She told her daughter it was overdiagnosed, that doctors were pushing expensive equipment for kickbacks, and accused the family of faking it for insurance. Her daughter cut contact, moved across the country, and went to the same specialist hospital we were heading to. Karen, flying to Philadelphia to see her grandson and prove her point, saw Ethan, chubby cheeks, curly hair, ventilator humming, an uncanny mirror of her own grandson. Her denial exploded outward. She didn't attack a stranger. She attacked the evidence that she was wrong, that her grandson needed the ventilator, and that her daughter hadn't been lying. She screamed fake at the top of her lungs, because if it was fake for us, it could still be fake for her family. After the video went viral, Karen's daughter finally reached out. The airline banned Karen from future flights, and her HOA board quietly asked her to step down. A week later, I got a Facebook message from her daughter. We talked for hours. Our boys share the same rare mutation, the same specialist, and the same incredible team of doctors. Today, both children thrive. Playdates happen, ventilators humming side by side, moms sipping coffee, laughing about how far they've come. Karen? She sold her house, moved to another state, and hasn't spoken to her family since. Some people would rather lose everything than admit they were wrong, even when the truth is breathing right in front of them. That airport day, as horrible as it was, led to finding a friend who truly understands. Watching our boys giggle together, tubes and all, made every tear worth it. Life has a way of turning the worst moments into something beautiful. Thanks for sticking with me through this story. If you've ever dealt with someone who couldn't handle being wrong, drop in the comments. I read everyone. And give this video a like for Ethan, the strongest little warrior I know. Hit subscribe and the bell icon so you never miss the next dramatic HOA story. Justice gets even more satisfying next time.